Hello, my name is Coco, and I'm doing a recap of episode 6 of Legal High. And it started off with Majizumi watching this couple on TV. The male was um, the writer, and the woman was the um, anchor woman. And they were just acting all lovey dovey and how the relationship was this and that, and it was just so good. But behind the scenes, that didn't show is that they were fighting in their home, and the woman was beating her husband, and she had picked up this thing and was like ready to break it. He like tried to take it to take it away from her, and I think when he did that, it like pushed her against the wall, and she hit um her head was showed blood, and like she somehow cut his hand with a he said with a vase. I'm not sure, but I mean it was more like she was beating her husband, like okay, like what. Anyway, they showed them sweet all lovey dovey, and Kamikato came and sat down in the chair, and she was talking about um he might be Kamikaze might be talking about how he was gonna be going with this girl and whatnot, and she was like, "Oh, you should be like them, the married couple, and blah blah this." And Kamikaze was like, "No, ain't no relationship, this and that." And then they get a call, and Hattori, the butler, he had answered it, and he was like, "There's someone that wants to do the divorce case." And Kamikaze's like, "I don't do divorce cases." So my zombie picked it up, and she was like, "Hello," and she's like, and she said the name out like, "What?" Because it was the male writer. And she's like, they were surprised because they're on TV right now showing the how they love and Debbie. And that's not how it is. So she comes, so he comes and he's telling them about it. And Majizumi's like crying. He's like, "You look more shocked than I am about this divorce." And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna handle it." But he said, "I want to be here for, cause I want Kamikato to do it." He's like, "Oh, I don't do divorce things," and then it's showing the woman. She's over there with um Mickey, and she's over there saying that he the domestic violence and how he was cheating on her. And I was just like, "You lying, you lying, you lying." um because from the clip, you could tell she was whooping him up. But I know it always gets there's like no proof. I mean, she just got a cut on her face, and Mickey was like, "That's your face for TV. He's messing with your product." And but Kamikato made a good point. Wait, dude that was assistant try to win against Kamikato before. He thought he was gonna handle the case, but no. And Mickey asked Sawaji um about what time it was in New York, and okay, and then it goes on, and it's like, and then it's like they all there, um, in a room. Kamikato, Mazazumi, the male writer, against his wife, Mickey, and Sawaji's there, and the dude that had lost against Kamikato. And Kamikato was like this and this that, and Mickey was like, "We ain't brought in our person yet." And before I do that, I said Kamikato made a great point because he said that she messed up, like he was, like Mickey was saying, he was messing with her face, her face because it's her product. Because since she's a news anchor, she messed up his hand that I guess he writes with, that's his money making. Anyway, and here comes this woman coming through. She introduced herself, and Kamikato's like, and she said something to Kamikato, and he was like, "Excuse me." And she's like, "Oh, he probably went to the bathroom because every time I scold him, he goes." Uh, and come to find out, it's his ex-wife. And so Montezuma was still trying to be the peacemaker and like this. And his ex-wife was like, "What is your point about this?" And she's like, "I want them to like break up nicely." And I mean, she called the girl dumb and whatever. And they weren't going to give up. They weren't. His ex-wife was like, "Next time let's have it at Kamikato's house," which they do. But the male writer is not there. So, uh, Kamikato went in. He was saying this and he was saying that because I was like, let's just, let's not take this to court. This was the whole thing. Let's not take. But the wife was like, "We're going to go to court." Well, Kamikaze was saying you was this and you was that. Y'all, next thing you know, she picked up that knife and was going after Kamikaze. And it was like, what? And so Hatari, like, I don't know, he did some kind of karate chop or something that put her right to sleep. I mean, this was crazy. Like, I was like, are you dumb? You just like won his case. You just proved that it's you that's the one that's domestic violence. Because all he got to do is just go into court and, um, do a similar argument. It might be about something else, and will pee her off to start attacking him. It shows she's the one that's obviously the one that's doing the domestic violence. And she woke up, and his ex-wife took her home, and they get into court. Well, before they got into court, Montezuma was like, "Did you really cheat?" And he's like, "No, I didn't do such a thing." And then Kamikaze said something. He was like, "It's all cleaned up." And Montezuma was like, "What?" And she's like, "How many people did you cheat?" And he started naming down names. Okay, she said, "I don't got enough piece of paper." She said, "How many people did you cheat with altogether?" He said, 18 women. I was like, she was like, "How about you just settle for the 3 million yen?" And so they go to court, and Kamikado's ex-wife got him. Oh yeah, Majizumi called it right. She is like the female version of Kamikado. It could explain why they're not married anymore. they're too similar. And anyway, his ex-wife got onto the husband and started putting out all the people that he cheated with, and basically was saying the reason why this, because he was like, "I changed and I need to be comforted by other women," crap, which is wrong. you know um I mean, you should, it's not cheating. You could have divorced a long time ago, if you want to get the comfort from other women. And she was like, second year that she changed in our marriage, and this and blah blah that. And Kamikado's ex-wife just handed him, and then Kamikado was going talking to his to the wife, the news anchor woman, and she was like this and that. I mean, she was bringing out some juicy details. The reason why they didn't want to go to court so all your secrets wouldn't be put out, she put them out there. So, Kamikado was kind of feeling down. You could tell that they were like hurt, like, woo, like we might not win this. And they did try to use the information guy, but the information guy did not find anything. They was like looking in the yearbook, and they thought they found one. And they went to this girl and this guy, and they found out this girl had the argument with the news anchor woman. But she's like, "Oh, we're best friends now," and blah blah blah, and this and that. And this dude, the husband that used to be the baseball player that with the girl, he was cooking this stuff. I mean, it looked nasty, and Kamikaze called him out on it because Majizuma was like, yummy, and Kamikaze was like, "I don't eat nothing that looks like throw up." But he took a bite, and then he's like, "Ah, ah, ah." Oh, the faces he makes in this drama is too funny. and anyway, that might have been before the court. They was hoping to get something. Anyway, after it was down, Majizumi was going home. She ran into Kamikado's ex-wife and Sawaji. They looked like they was getting drunk, and they was talking. And she's like, "I will not drink." Majizumi was like, "I will not drink." That's what I meant. And Majizumi, she was. And they was talking. She was like, "Oh, you broke up with Kamikado because he cheated, right?" And she's like, "That's what he thinks." She said, and Majizumi was like, "What?" She said, "No, it was because of me." She said women know how to cheat better than men. And she brought up this dish, which is the same dish that Majizumi and Kamikado tried when they thought they could get information from the girl to come out that she had a fight with the anchor woman, but apparently they squashed it and became friends. And anyway, so Majizumi leaves, and something hits, and she brings out the yearbook, and she sees it, and bam, she showed Kamikado, and Kamikado found out she had went drinking with his wife, but she's like, "We didn't talk about work." And they get there right before another court thing, Like, we should settle this. And the anchor woman was surprised that Kamikato was like, yeah, I want to question your people too, because those two people was going to help the new anchor woman to show how awesome she was. And news anchor woman was like, well, hold up, why would you want to question them? And Montezuma just brought up the stuff, and Kamikaze was like, what are you doing? You can't be showing the evidence. And he was like, oh, she was like, this is bam, bam, bam. And she said, you see this article in here about this, about the two people that they want to use, the one at the girl in the restaurant that was cooking the dish, the same dish that Kamikaze's ex-wife brought up. And she was like, we called the reporter. She said, this was about you and that man that owned the restaurant that went from a baseball player to owning the restaurant. She said, and that's the reason why you got mad with that girl. And supposedly this and that and that and that, blah, 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 blah. And Kamikaze went in on her. He was like, the reason why you changed his second marriage, it wasn't because of him, it was because of you. Because that lady said that 2 years ago that you came to that restaurant and y'all came buddies, and ooh, isn't it the one you love? He was your original love, and you start getting mad at your husband because you realize it wasn't him. And the same reason why you want 300 million yen is because your first love is the one that's getting 300 million yen each year from that restaurant. And it's like boom, bam, ya boomer, and it was a wrap. They didn't go to court and they settled. And of course, the new anchor woman played it like, I'm trying to be an independent woman, and Mickey was not happy. He told Kamikaze's ex-wife, he was like, why did you settle? And she said it was because what the client wanted. He said, that's not an explanation. She's like, I don't work for you anymore, bye. And she came over to see Kamikaze one last time. And Montezuma ran out and she said, I want to learn from you and this and that and that way. She said, Montezuma said, I knew you did it on purpose. See, that's what the thing was. When she said that certain dish from the restaurant they went to hope to use as them to find out they was buddy, they wasn't arguing no more. It was in that news magazine that she looked and went to tell Kamikaze. So she gave the hint to her. And she denied it though. She said, I didn't give you no type of hint. And she said, you don't need to be like me because that's what you want to work. And she said, if you work with Kamikaze long enough, you'll learn how to beat him yourself. And so Montezuma's going back in, and there's Kamikaze talking with those girls from the beginning, and I guess there's gonna be more girls at the party, and at the yacht, and they're gonna have some barbecues. What he said, and Montezuma's like, it must be nice to not know stuff, and Hatari was like what? And I think she might have mentioned that he, I think Montezuma mentioned to him that about what his ex-wife did, and he was like, did you ever think that he knew the same thing and went with it too? Like, Montezuma always have a feeling of, she kind of always sees the worst in Kamikaze, and Hatari always kind of put her back in her place, like, look for me from his side, that it's just, don't always see Kamikaze in the bad light. Like, they were married before, they both know each other well. And it made her realize that Kamikaze knew what she was doing and knew that she gave that secret, and he didn't call her out on it. He just went along with it and just was being himself. So yes, that's how it ended, and it was a good episode. Bye.